From Petaluma High School, it's a very special afternoon at Abbey Field. It's senior day, the final home game for 5 Petaluma Trojan seniors. And not just that, Petaluma 3 wins away from a VVAL title. And a good afternoon, everyone. I'm Griffin Epstein, joining you here live from Abbey Field on a beautiful afternoon as the Petaluma Trojans on a 3-game win streak try to keep it going in their final home game of the regular season. First pitch is moments away, so let's head out onto the field as Julian Garahan will get the start for the Trojans as they face Petaluma. Garahan is the sophomore star for the Trojans, but it's his first start in 2 weeks. He's struggled of late, but he'll hope to bounce back as the Trojans hope to get some revenge on the Braves. They lost to Justin Siena in Napa earlier this month when they were playing some of their worst baseball this season. Petaluma needs a victory if they hope to take home a league title. Bounces low, and it's 1-1 on Thomas Lopez, the senior outfielder, batting .200 on the year for the Braves. Justin Siena in the blue with the white and red, the white piping and the red pinstripes. That's popped up and will get out of play. Look out, everyone. Just gets over all the fans' heads behind home plate. 1-2. Garahan in the purple pinstripes in the white, along with all the Trojans in black piping. Petaluma 11-9 overall, 6-3 in VVAL, a half a game back of first, but in control of their own destiny. If they win today and then 2 next week, they'll take home a league title. Lopez just got a piece of it, and it's 1-2. Justin Siena team really shocked Petaluma, went into Napa. Braves had only won once all year in VVAL. Braves came back from a 3-0 deficit, walked it off in the 4th on a double to win 4-3. Down to his knee, swinging, and a base hit up the middle. An impressive piece of hitting by Lopez. He nearly got down on a knee to get that ball, which was diving into the dirt, but managed to place it right up the middle and past Bertolucci, the diving shortstop. Here's Noah Young for Justin Siena. They got a quick start off Garahan. We had 3 baseball live streams so far this season as the first pitch is swung on and driven deep into center field, but the ball settles down and the catch is made in center by Wolpert. 1 down. Garahan has pitched all 3 live streams we've done this year. Very different stories, though, in the first 2 we've done. Against Casa, Garahan was dominant in that one and was really the MVP of that one. 4 perfect, near-perfect innings. Only gave up 1 run and helped the Trojans to a big victory over the Gauchos, 5-3. Second time around, we were here a couple weeks ago, also on a Friday, so that's fouled back against Vintage. And Garahan did not have his best stuff, probably his worst start of the year. Game after Petaluma lost to Justin Siena, and Vintage really dominated a Petaluma team that was struggling at that time, 11-4. Here's more for Justin Siena as they throw back to first. Gets back in time. 0-1 on Moore, 1 out, and a runner at first. Julian Garahan, the 6'5", 180-pound sophomore. Coach Salvatell is entrusting on senior day for Petaluma. It's a big day for everyone, and they're trying to win it for the seniors. Moore takes inside. It gets away from Gallagher, but not far away enough for Lopez to go anywhere. Still just 1-1. Garahan's 4-1. That 1 loss was to Vintage, a 2.56 ERA and 10 appearances. And 38.1 innings pitched. I'll check again on the speedy Lopez. Back in time. Opposing batters hitting .316, or an on-base percentage of .316 against Garahan. Early in the season especially, he was very dominant. In his First year on varsity. Excellent speed, can move it, his pitches, but he's also so calm on the mound, he doesn't easily get rattled. One and two on Moore, who's batting .288 on the year. Braves aren't a good hitting team by any means. They rely on their pitching. Trying to get a key early run here, though. The leadoff runner reached. Carahan looks in on the 2-2. The pitch, swing and a miss. Moore strikes out. And Garahan has his first strikeout of the afternoon. So 2 down, 1 on, and Garahan has rebounded nicely from the opening base hit. Here is Moore. Around the bases this afternoon for Petaluma, it's Sam Brown returning to first after he was out in the outfield on Wednesday against Sonoma's. This first pitch is swung at, dying in left, and the catch is made running by the Trojan right fielder. It is England who makes the catch, and Petaluma gets out of the first inning. No harm done after the opening runner reached. If you're just joining us here from Abbey Field, hello again, everyone. I'm Griffin Epstein, and the Trojans on a vital game this afternoon against the Justin Siena Braves. It's been such a wild season for them. 2 straight losses to start the season. Then Petaluma went on a tear. 7 straight games. They looked like they couldn't lose. Everything was working for this team. It all fell apart, though, in late March. A loss to Sonoma Valley, and that preceded a precipitous tear. They felt these Braves lost to Vintage, and then at a rough Boris tournament where they lost their first 3 games, including getting no hit by Casa, before they finally rebounded in this last weekend. 2 victories against American Canyon and then against Powerhouse Sarah, and then a very impressive victory on Wednesday against Sonoma Valley. If you missed that game, it's on our channel. Trojans against the first-place Dragons really had their way with Sonoma, jumped out to a 6-0 lead and never looked back for a 6-2 victory. Mark Wolbert was dominant pitching, and the Trojans seemed back to playing their best baseball that we saw for most of March from them, where they really proved that they could put it all together with their young talent and the experienced seniors that they have that are being honored today. It's a good match, but especially when pitching struggled, it can get ugly for Petaluma. When it all works together and the puzzle pieces have clicked, it's been a beauty to watch. And right now it looks like it's clicking again for Petaluma. That means they need a victory today and then 2 more next week. They'll play American Canyon on Tuesday and then Vintage on Wednesday. If they win that, they are guaranteed at least co-champions with Sonoma Valley. If the Dragons lose today to Napa or they lose on Wednesday to these Justin Siena Braves, then Petaluma would be champs outright, but obviously still a long way to go. Petaluma is trying to take it 1 game at a time and starts this afternoon against Justin Siena. Boy, if they turned around from their struggles, so impressive. But the Braves know how to beat the Trojans, doing that last month, and that has to be the concern for Coach Salvatella. He told the Trojans after Wednesday they got to take care of business now before they can focus on their further quests. Mark Wolbert will lead things off for Petaluma. The Trojan Bats have been on fire of late. .366 on base percentage, batting .258. And Wolbert's been a big part of that. He didn't just pitch well on Wednesday, but had a massive game with the bat. As the first pitch is inside. And the 1-0 misses outside. Wolbert batting .294 on the year. He has 20 hits, which is second on the team. First-year varsity sophomore, boy, has he shined. Just misses low. He's quickly had 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk. That's not a good way to start things. If you're the Braves, you saw their softball team do that yesterday. 7 walks in Petaluma softball senior day, and the Trojans put 6 runs on the Braves in the first inning. There has been similar struggles for the Braves to their softball team of late, coming off a 9-0 blowout loss to American Canyon on Tuesday. And they've lost 5 out of their last 6 since that victory over the Trojans back on April 10th. The only victory was a non-league extra inning W over Armijo, 9-8. Garrett Lewis striding to the plate with Wolbert on and nobody out. Misses outside. Lewis has been so impressive as a second-year varsity sophomore. .460 on-base percentage, leading Petaluma. The most patient batter on the Trojans. Somehow already able to develop patience at that young age. That only signifies so many good things to come for the underclassmen. Patience, such a virtue, such a hard skill to learn, and Lewis, already in 2 years on varsity, has it down to a T. Somewhere that caught the strike zone, but not in the Trojans universe. 2-2. Lewis batting .292 overall. He has 11 walks, which also leads Petaluma. And the pitch as Wolbert goes, and Lewis grounds it into the gap. It's short, a base hit. Wolbert headed to third safely in time, and Lewis will go to second as well. Excellent clutch piece of hitting by Lewis, and then the base running was even better. Nobody outs and already runners at second and third. An excellent start for Petaluma. Luigi Albano Dito is the pitcher for the Braves. He switched numbers, which was why I was confused, but he's both a basketball player and a football player for the Braves as well, a 3-star athlete. He had a couple touchdowns against the Trojans when these two played in football, and one of the probably the VVAL game of the year in football in Napa. Sam Brown faced Albano Dito in basketball. Trojans split that series. Trojans trying to do the same thing here in baseball, as it's 1-1 on the big Sam Brown. Runners already at second and third. The Trojans trying to continue to hit. Albano Dito's really struggled with his control early. Missing all over the place, and when his pitches have been over the strike zone, the Trojans have been ready. Hasn't been a lot to look at as Brown crushes this one into right. Got under it, but this should score Wolbert from third. No, he decides to go back. It was a quick throw in by the right fielder, Noah Young. And Wolbert was halfway home and decided, I'm not going to make that. One of the speediest players on the Trojans, but with that just the first out, Wolbert gets a second chance here with Gallagher up. The Trojans' senior captain playing his final regular season game here at Abbey Field. Petaluma hoping they'll return for NCS as Gallagher swings and misses. Gallagher batting .350 on the year and leading Petaluma in hits with 21. Headed to Chico State next year to play Division II baseball. Off speed, and Gallagher crushes it into left field. Wolbert will score. Lewis will hold at third, as Gallagher has an RBI single on his senior day. Just see Gallagher get his hands around that turn on it. He read it so well and knew exactly where he was going to put that. Here's Mario Zarco with runners on the corners and one out. Trojans' base running has been so smart in this inning, and it's already helped them get a run. This team is so well disciplined and well coached by the third-year manager, Jim Salvatella. Zarco takes outside. Another sophomore on this sophomore-heavy team. 8 underclassmen on a team of 17. Part of the very talented youth core of the Trojans that are hoping to become inaugural VBAL champs. Zarco looks at the 1-0. Swinging as Gallagher was going, but the ball is popped up and dropped. Lewis scores. Gallagher to second, and it's an RBI single for Zarco. Was it? An error by the Braves. Seen a couple walks, some costly plays by Justin Siena. Another senior comes to the plate, Sam Jacobs, and still just one out. This Trojan team looks ready for revenge early. Jacobs takes outside. And Albano Dito frustrated early. He's 1-3 this season with a 3.35 ERA. Not a bad year, but his control's been all over the place this afternoon. That misses high. Trojans are such disciplined hitters, they're not going to be fooled. 2-0 on the senior. 5'9", 135 pounds, and batting .310. Runners at first and second, and still just one out. Here comes the 2-0 on the outside corner. Jacobs had a big game on Wednesday against Sonoma Valley. 2 hits, and Jacobs has been on a tear of late. He's on a 3-game hitting streak, and he's gotten hits in 4 of the last 5 games. Bounces low, gets away from the catcher, and both runners will trot down to an extra base. A wild pitch by Albano Dito. And now both runners in scoring position. And 3-1 as well. A disastrous start for the Braves senior pitcher. Catches the outside corner. It's a full count, and this is a major pitch by Albano Dito. We cannot afford to fall behind by more. And Garahan looked pretty good in that top of the first. It's not a Brave team, too, that can come back from a big deficit. Jacob swings right to short. They'll throw home. They got him. Nice throw at home to nag Gallagher. As the shortstop, Alexander Curley, made the assertive and risky throw home, but it works out for the Braves. So runners on the corners and 2 down for Brown. Coach Salvatella didn't love the call, so he's going to come out and talk with the umpire. A friendly chat, but I don't expect any reversal. In fact, there's never a reversal, which is, I guess, the question, why does the manager go out to talk to the umpire in the first place? But sometimes you give them a word of your business, and the next close call, they're a little bit more favorable. The Braves can get out of this with only 2 runs scored. That would absolutely be a victory and give them some momentum and hope for a struggling team that comes in with absolutely no momentum. Bonadito throws back to first to Jacobs, who's speedy. He has 4 stolen bases on the year. It's Zarco at third, who's not as fast, so Brown needs to hit something deep to get Zarco to score. That misses high. Beautiful Friday afternoon. Low 70s, a light breeze blowing in from the outfield towards home plate. Oh, what a creative play that was. I don't know how much we caught on camera, but it was a double steal, and it worked out to give the Trojans another run. Zarco scores. That one was hard to describe. Jacobs going as Albano Ticho turned to throw him. They threw to get Jacobs just as they realized Zarco was headed home. This one is driven deep into center, and the catch is made. One pitch, one swing. And the inning is over as Brown is retired. Creative play, though, by the Trojans gets them one more run, and they put 3 on the board in the bottom of the first, and a great start for Petaluma, and Albano Dito did not look comfortable out there pitching for Justin Siena, but these Trojan batters are so disciplined. They were patient. They waited for him to make the errors, and when they got their pitches, their replacement was excellent, and a couple errors by the Braves as well. They look a little nervy and a little down in the dumps right now. That certainly hurt Justin Siena as well, and it puts Petaluma in the driver's seat early in this game as they keep their momentum going. And the swings of their season, you just want to keep the momentum streak going every single game and get off to these fast starts. And so far, they've done an excellent job of doing just that, leading 3-0 as we head to the top of the second. Petaluma also looking for NCS seeding right now, currently projected as a 7 seed in NCS. And the Trojans want to win out the rest of the way. They can probably move up in the ranks closer to 5 or 4 even if they can win out. And if they lose a couple, it could eliminate any chance at a home game. Currently, the top 8 get home games, and Petaluma projected to play Casa Grande in the first round right now. What a matchup that would be. Those teams the last 2 years have both times been one win by Petaluma away from playing each other, and both times the Trojans haven't come through. They play in the first round, it wouldn't matter this time. First pitch swinging in center. Catch is made by Wolbert, and there's quickly one down. So that was Max Castellucci with the fly out. One down. Garahan getting some quick outs. Here's Nolan Dunkel for Justin Siena. First pitch in there for a strike. Garahan looking good to start after the opening base hit. He's retired 4 in a row. Low pitch swinging, and it gets out of play. Oh, right into the dugout. Look out. My goodness. It hit right off the yellow cover that's over the fence, bounced right off it. You could hear some expletives from the Trojan dugout as they realized with panic it was headed right towards them and had to scatter out of the way. Everyone looks all right down there, though. Inside. Justin Siena dugout trying to make some noise for Dunkel. Get these Braves going. The team Justin Siena hits .282 with a .372 on base percentage. Dunkel fouls it straight back. One and two, one out. Trojans lead 3-0. Top of the second. As it's senior day here at Abbey Field, the final home game of the regular season for Petaluma. That sails over the head of Gallagher. Garahan gives it a smile, so relaxed out on the mound. He came over to me before the game, let me know he was pitching, told me he was feeling pretty good, pretty hyped to be pitching for the seniors on senior day. ready to go and get back out it after he's had a couple rough starts last couple times. Chop foul. Misses high, and it's worked to a full count. Nice patient at bat here by Dunkel. Justin Siena swung at some early pitches that they've had no business swinging at, and they've cost them. Long at bats work out as Dunkel forces a walk. Nice piece of at bat there. Patient, and Garahan awards the free base. Big Marcus Nunes strives to the plate, and the world quavers at his gait. Big man. Can easily hit one. Good 350 over the center foot wall if he wanted to. Center field wall. The 0-1. Swing and a miss way early on that was Nunes, and it gets a loud applause from the Trojan fans who have packed the home stands this afternoon to come out and support their senior Trojans. A good crowd has made their way from Napa on this beautiful Friday afternoon as well. Got about 150 fans in the stands. Tables have been set up for the senior dinner. That is a tradition for Petaluma baseball after. As Garahan gets the backwards K, Nunes goes down looking. 2 down. Every sport team here at Petaluma High has their unique senior day tradition. Softball team runs the bases one final time after the game. Baseball, it's a pretty normal ceremony, but every time everyone always sits down to dinner afterwards right here at Abbey Field. That one is fouled into the pool. Two down for Alexander Curley. As it bounces low and an easy stolen base. Dunkel was going anyways, and by the time it bounced in front of Gallagher, no play. So Dunkel goes into scoring position, the first Brave in scoring position so far today. The 1-1 on Cummings. Garahan takes a look behind him, a second look behind him, and the pitch. Hammered into left field down the line. This will score a run as it rolls all the way to the wall. An RBI double, and the Braves are on the board courtesy of Curley. 3-1, and the Braves needed a run after they gave up 3 in the first, and they get just that off Garahan. Nice piece of hitting. But I believe the runner missed the bag at third. Did you see that? Did they tag third? I think the ruling there was that Dunkel coming home from second never hit third. Trojans realized it, tagged the bag, no run. Brave runner still standing at second, but it looks like they're upholding the run, so maybe that's not the call. Try to get some clarification on that for you, but either way, it appears the inning is over. On to the bottom of the second, as the Braves make their way back onto the field, 3-1. An odd play there either way. It looked like the Braves had a big momentum play, and it stops their momentum on that, but they do prove they can get some hits off Garahan, which is vital, and show that they're going to hang around in this game. They have beat Petaluma earlier this season, and they certainly know they can do that again. They came back from behind in that game, too. They were behind 3-0 early, chipped away, tied it up in the 5th, and then a walk-off double in the 6th by Albano Dito scored the walk-off run for the Braves in that game. Justin Siena trying to do the same thing this afternoon. They have taken the run off the board, so to my understanding, that was the ruling, that the runner never touched the bag at third, which is not something you see a lot in baseball, but got to be alert to make sure the runners hit the bag, and that has to hurt for Justin Siena. Looked like they got a run, and instead it's taken away from them on a careless error of not hitting the bag after a nice piece of hitting by the Braves, who haven't hit a lot of baseballs or had a lot of success in that field so far this season. Conversation now with the umpire from manager Jeremy Tayson, trying to clarify and complain on that play. And now both managers have complaints to the umpires as we head back out onto the field. And the Trojans keep their 3-0 lead as Bertolucci will lead off. A big break for Petaluma. Garahan gets out of the inning, no harm done. Nico Bertolucci takes low on the first pitch. 6 foot, 145-pound junior, batting .278 on the year. Recovering from a little bit of a cold. Called in sick on Wednesday. We saw that takes away outside. Saw son Nathan Zimmerman make his first start as a varsity player. Called up 2 weeks ago for the Boris tournament. Started it short against the first place team in VVAL and performed well. Made a couple nice plays at short. Forced a walk. But Bertolucci, the everyday shortstop, back into action. Tries to lay down a bunt, and he whiffed on it. Trying to catch the Braves off guard, but an interesting decision considering up 2-1 in the count, and it's been so easy for Petaluma. Get hits. Albano Dito keeps on falling behind in the count. Bertolucci takes outside, 3-1. Sophomore was called up for the SCL tournament and the NCS playoffs last year. Good experience for him. Got some playing time and then playing with the big boys full-time this year. A chopper to third. This will be a tough play for the speedy Bertolucci. Not in time. He runs it out. The chopper couldn't have been slower to Dunkel at third, and he didn't do a good job at charging it. And the long-legged Bertolucci, looking like a gazelle down the first baseline, just runs it out. Nothing going Justin Siena's way right now. Mike England digs in, playing right field today after the best game of his career on Wednesday against Sonoma Valley. And I'll check on Bertolucci. England hasn't got a lot of playing time until recently. This is just his 24th plate appearance of the season as he pops it up and out of play. But a 2 RBI double in the 6th against Sonoma Valley really put the game away. Make it 5-0. He got the start in right on Wednesday. And he settled into a role, hot hitting with the bat, and in his first year on varsity, getting honored now as a senior, and he's been a big part of this team's success, using all of his experience he's learned. Albano Dito again, checking on the runner. Coach Shelvatella was so pleased with England, also with senior Sam Jacobs. He brought them over to me after the game on Wednesday and wanted to make sure they got the recognition they deserve. They're not necessarily the stars of the Brown brothers or Lewis Garahan, but they certainly shine. Looked like it was going to be a double play, but foot off the bag, so the Braves just get one. And Playing games of ball tag right now are the Braves and the Trojans. England started striding off the base and made sure he stays on the base. Dunkel tried tagging him again after he wandered off into the foul line, but he was out of play. And the frustration just gets worse and worse for Justin Siena. Umpires are going to have a conversation. The first base umpire with the behind the plate umpire. But it did look like the foot was off the bag. And he's again ruled safe, so England does not ground into a double play. Instead of fielder's choice, one down, runner at first, and back to the top of the order, and Wolbert. Wolbert takes a strike. The 0-1 from Albonadito. Pitcher just needs to get into a rhythm. As Wolbert grounds this one off the mound and hopping into center field, a base hit. A lucky bounce for Wolbert. It looked like it might be a routine play at second, but it took a nasty hop off the mound and sprung right over the bag like a rabbit going for a carrot and into center field. Lewis strides to the plate first and second, and still one out. Saying Albonadito's got to get into a rhythm. A pitcher needs to find a rhythm, start throwing strikes, getting swings and misses, and you can kind of get into the zone. It's like a shooter trying to make baskets in basketball. You got to make some shots, and Albonadito hasn't done that. Until he can do that, it's going to be a rough afternoon for him. One 0 on the sophomore Lewis, who reached on a base hit and came around to score. They look back on England. And the Braves have been worried as well about the base running of Petaluma, which has been so tactically sound. Not bold or too risky, but just good enough to do what's right. It's keeping the Braves on their toes for certain. They're going to throw back to first. Wolbert back in plenty of time, 2-0. Trojans have 25 stolen bases on the year. Aggressive on the base pass this year as this is driven over the head of the shortstop. A late jump at second by England means he will stay at third. He was waiting to see if the ball would be caught, but it loads the bases. Nice piece of hitting by Lewis. He's already 2 for 2 today. Sam Brown strides to the plate with the bases loaded. And look out. If you're the Braves, they're battling hard here. Calls aren't going their way. To avoid this getting ugly, they need a couple outs. They're able to hold on in that first inning and not make it too crazy of an inning. Only 3. Brown trying to blow it open. Takes the first pitch outside. A tough chopper will go foul. Nice play by the Braves, letting that one go foul. There was going to be no good play on a little bouncing ball. Brown's wearing the sunglasses when he's batted. Maybe he's trying to model it after me. I had to put on some glasses. The sun's so bright. I don't normally see the sunglasses for batting. Maybe Brown has allergies like me. The eyes start bothering you. The sun feels 2 times brighter. 'Tis the Ides of May. Ground ball to second. Bobbled. No play anywhere. England scores. Trojans extend their lead to 4-0. The Braves just cannot put themselves together. The heart of the order for Petaluma, so deep and dangerous, and it's so hard to get out of unscathed. Petaluma's bottom of the order is producing. It becomes a two-headed beast. 4-0, 1 out. Bottom second as Gallagher swings and misses. Browns at first, Lewis at second, and Wolbert at third. Gallagher trying to bring them all home. A check swing. Gallagher managed to foul it off, though. And he's fallen behind 0-2. 16 RBIs on the season for Gallagher, including a .450 slugging percentage. He reaches base nearly 40% of the time. Such a talented hitter. Drives this one into center. Falling. The catch is not made. Another run will score. It's an RBI single by Gallagher. An exceptional effort in center field by Max Castellucci, but he trapped the ball is the ruling. And the struggles continue. It's 5-0. Trojans just relentless. They did this against Sonoma in the third inning. Had 4 straight base hits, and they've now done just that. Ethan Wilson will pinch hit. The walk-up music, Old Town Road, coming on a little late. Which, if you don't know, is the most popular song in the world the last 2 weeks running. Wilson, a man of refined taste. Takes outside. No. Well, the strike zone has been big. Wilson shakes it off on his senior day. One of 5 seniors being honored today, along with Gallagher, Clark, Jacobs. Check swing. He did go. You can see how much this at-bat means for Wilson, who hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities, but Coach Shelvatella giving it to him. Wilson just 1 hit on the year. A JV player until his senior year of baseball. England, the other senior I didn't mention. So Wilson strikes out. So 2 down. And here comes another senior, Sam Jacobs, trying to extend the lead with the bases still loaded. Jacobs takes outside. 1-0 on the senior, who's a big Astros fan, especially of Jose Altuve. Who marry each other in height and also are middle infielders. Takes outside again. Told this story last year, but proves Sam Jacobs a little bit of a profiteer. So we're going to have a meeting at the mound, and Bonadito falling behind 2-0. Manager Jeremy Tayson not liking what he's seeing. He's going to have a conversation with his senior pitcher and try to settle him down with nowhere to put him. Jacobs told me all the way back, I think when we were in 7th grade, and when the Astros were one of the worst teams in baseball, bottom of the AL West every year, would lose 100 games. He told me they were coming. Had a young, talented core. Talked about all these great minor league players. And just like Sports Illustrated, which predicted them to win the World Series in 2017, Jacobs told me they'd win the World Series soon. And he was correct. They've done that. They've become a powerhouse, and all those young talent that were in the minor leagues, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Dallas Keuchel, they've all rose up and been stars. That catches the strike zone 2-1. I haven't heard him call the Trojans winning the VVAL pennant yet, though. But maybe we'll get a guarantee soon. He's running out of time, though. Trying to make it back-to-back league pennants for Petaluma, as it's 3-1 and nowhere to put them. Trojans won SCL last year easily, 10-2, and 18-9 overall last year with a senior-clad team that had 11 seniors. Smaller class this year, but by no means less influential. Loads the count, 3-2, 2 outs. Bases are loaded, runners will be going on the pitch. Can't load the scoreboard more than this. Bonodito trying to get out of this second inning with only 2 runs given up. The pitch. Swinging chopper goes foul. Just staying alive is Jacobs as the wind picks up. Brown has decent speed at second. There's a base hit into either outfield. "3-2" is popped up and out of play. Exceptional battle by Sam Jacobs. He does not like something about the bat, though, and it looks like he's going to get a new one. It's time for some bat trading. I don't think it's making Joe Brown too happy about it. They have switched bats. A little crack, maybe, in the aluminum. It's not a wood bat, bro. It's pretty hard to break. I don't think I've ever seen a broken aluminum bat before. Presume it's possible. Another payoff pitch. Off-speeded Jacobs just gets a piece of it. Very late there, realizing that ball's falling into the top corner of the strike zone and somehow getting away to get a bat on it. Only 8 strikeouts on the season. A great contact hitter. He only had 2 strikeouts last season. And he played short most of the year. Improved his batting average this year by 7%. Strikes out there, though. Nice at bat by Albano Dito, and he gets out of it without too much trouble. Trojans add 2 more runs to the total. The Braves just hanging around, but right now, by the edge of their teeth, they need runs and they need them fast. Nothing's going their way, and it's hard to play that way when things are going against you. Petaluma playing a soft baseball game so far. I don't think they play their best baseball, but they're clearly battling hard, hitting the ball, placing it well, and Garahan got a break in that top of the second. He's really getting a long time to sit on the bench, which might actually be a disadvantage to him. Garahan having to wait so long before he can come back out to pitch. He's sitting on the bench for about 20-30 minutes because of these long Trojan innings, so we'll see how that affects them. But so far he's mostly been steady, though he did get the break on the missed bag in the top half of the second. The Brave Bats, which just got shut out on Tuesday and are struggling of lately, trying to get anything going against these Trojans, now having to deal with a 5-run deficit, bigger than the deficit they faced and came back from against Napa earlier this month in the penultimate game of the season for Justin Siena, the third to last game of the season for Petaluma, who has 2 games on the road next week. They also play tomorrow on the road in Fair Oaks. They're going to take on Bella Vista, who's only lost 3 times all this season, a powerhouse in the Sacramento area. It'll be a long bus ride for Petaluma and a really good challenge. The way the Trojans are playing, if they can win today, it'll be 4 in a row. And they're certainly going to be tested, and it will be a good lead-in to next Tuesday and Wednesday when the games against American Canyon and Vintage will decide the VVAL title. Or it's not American Canyon, Casa Grande and Vintage next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Gauchos are hot there. Both Casa and Vintage, with losses by the Trojans and Sonoma, could still win a league pennant. So Casa will come in hot and ready to go. Gauchos have won 3 games in a row, including an impressive victory against Vintage on Wednesday. So Trojans can't overlook Tuesday. And obviously they got no hit by Costa last time. And then Wednesday against a vintage team that crushed them last time. Very dangerous, well-disciplined Crushers team. Either game will be easy for Petaluma. Did an excellent job taking it one at a time so far. Strike from Garahan to make it 1-1. Nick Andrews batting at the bottom of the order for the Braves. The freshman takes low. Batting .226 on the season, the infielder. Braves also have 2 games next week. They'll be at American Canyon on Tuesday, and then their senior night against Sonoma Valley on Wednesday. That's chop foul. The Braves still hoping for a spot in NCS. They played a tough schedule for a Division IV team. They will face, currently seated as a 9th seed in NCS Division IV. The 2-2 from Garahan, 2 shakeups of Gallagher, 3rd time the charm. And line right to third, handled like a pro by Brown. My goodness, he made that look easy. That's a tough bounce, and Brown just so nonchalantly handled it at the hot corner and fired to first like he could do it in his sleep. And Brown, as much as he's an acclaimed batter, his fielding is the most exceptional part of his game. It is nearly impeccable most of the time, and he's so matter-of-fact and smooth about it. As Tommy Lopez strides the plate with 1 out. Fouled off. Brown on Wednesday had 2 exceptional plays. A low chopping ground ball dying in the grass, picked it up, barehanded it, threw it to first. We had that highlight Thursday morning on Trojan Live. Just a brilliant play to get it out. And then they bunted right to him on the next pitch. And he nearly got that play as well, but it was so hard he was panting from running in from the play he'd made right before. Played center field early in this season. So I'll make a couple exceptional plays, a couple diving catches, but then most exceptional play was a ball at the wall. He threw all the way to second to throw out a gaucho in a key moment in that game. Coach Salvatella shuffled around the lineup a lot the last couple weeks, trying to find the right recipe. He decided to go with Brown at third. Chopped swing to short. Bertolucci's got it. Sidearm throw, 2 down. His hat fell off, too. Bertolucci playing back had to make a long run, but this Trojan infield making things look smooth right now. 2 down. Here comes Noah Young, the 6', 170-pound sophomore, who's had a good season, batting .321, which is second on the Braves in batting average, only behind Albano Dito. Trojans made just 41 errors on the season, a 93% fielding percentage. This one is hit hard into right. England going way back at the warning track, unable to make the catch. He had it in his glove. It was going to be an impressive catch in the deepest part of the ballpark by England, but it just hopped out of his glove. Oh, so close for the senior who was just entering the warning track. That ball would have left the park and a lot of other parts. He'd hit that one into right field. It'd be on the track. Instead, just a double, and here comes Albano Dito. Batting .369 on the year, the 6'3", 170-pound senior. Had a couple touchdowns as a wide receiver. And also came here to play basketball against Petaluma. One of the better athletes to come through the Justin Siena program the last couple years, though the private Catholic school in Napa certainly gets its share of outstanding athletes. Pop sky high into the air and left. And the side is retired. Nice catch is made to retire the side by Zarco. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Petaluma 5, Justin Siena 0. Good smooth inning by Garahan, just one reaches, and the defense behind him so good. It has to give so much confidence to Garahan to have a defense behind him that can field so well and is so comfortable all over the field fielding the ball. And it gives Garahan, I think, that extra boost, and all the sophomore pitchers a big extra boost. Hey, Michael. Yeah, we'll film that. Yeah. You want to give your thoughts real quickly, Michael? You have time?
Sure.
Yeah, what are your early thoughts on this one in the team season?
They've had their ups and downs, but they're playing good baseball right now. Had a huge win on Wednesday, and they got a 5-0 lead here. They play Bella Vista tomorrow, which will be a big game, but it won't necessarily hurt them if they lose in NCS standings. And then they finish out league next week in hopes of, I think they're on the borderline right now of getting a home game in the playoffs. So if they can win the rest of their league games, they should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and then win a league title, at least co-champs if they win the rest of the way, control their own destiny.
Yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Michael.
Yep.
That is Michael Barabald, who graduated last year from Petaluma High School, and PA announcing tonight. He's come back to doing a lot of PA announcing, now majoring in communications at Santa Rosa's Junior College, and still does a lot for this Petaluma program when he's not helping coach the Sonoma Academy baseball team. And definitely was right. This team's playing good baseball right now with all the ups and downs they've had. It's certainly been a wild season, but one to remember, and you want to trend up as you reach the apex, and that's what they're doing right now. Finish strong. It looked like a couple weeks ago, I would say, looked like everything was going to crumble and fall apart, but that they were able to resurrect it with such a young core. You have to give them so much credit for being able to do that, and give manager Jim Salvatella in just his third season so much credit for the ability to settle down and be able to come back. Let's head back out onto the field.
Leading off the bottom of the third for the Trojans, number 8,
Joe Brown will lead things off for the bottom of the third. Petaluma hoping to extend its lead and make it win 4 in a row as Brown tries to lay down a bunt, but it bounces foul. The freshman phenom, the only freshman on this team. It hasn't been the best year for him batting-wise. We just talked about how great of a fielder he is. I think he's still learning to bat at the varsity level. Even though he was on the USA baseball team, the U14 national team. It's high school baseball, still different. So the off-speed's outside. But he's got so many obvious traits that make him a future big leaguer. And it's likely going to look like a whole different player by the time he's a senior, especially in terms of batting. And the experience you get as a freshman will benefit you so much in the years to come. You're a 4-year varsity player. It's a big benefit, and I think we've seen that with the recent Trojans that have started as freshmen. His older brother, Sam Brown, who started as a freshman 2 years ago and is now such a disciplined, experienced, wise varsity player. Also, Garrett Lewis has had a big year this year after starting as a freshman last year. The experience is so important for the long run. You only get better every year as long as you continue to work hard, even when you have all that talent, and that can be hard. You have the talent Brown has, natural talent that can get him far. Is he going to continue to work to shoot harder? How much does he love baseball? How hard does he want to work? That will be tested in the off seasons. Coming up in his high school career, when he's an upperclassman, scouts might just be coming around to check him out. And if nothing else, Division I college at the least. Brown will walk. He is a patient hitter, something he already has developed. And Albano Dito has just been unable to find a rhythm at all today. He's really been all over the place. Jeremy Tayson again back out. This is the third time he's talked to his pitcher already, but it's again not to remove him. It's just to calm him down. The senior captain could be tired. He's pitched a lot. He's had no clean innings. He's had very few short at bats. It's really been a rough outing for him. It's extending this game very long on this senior night for Petaluma. Already good hour 20 in and still just bottom of the third. Junior Bertolucci with Brown at first, he goes. And in there without a throw. He had such a good jump. By the time the Brave catcher, John Horn, picked up the ball, he realized he was going to have no shot at getting Brown. So the speedy Brown goes to second. His second stolen base of the season. Bertolucci looks in at the 0-1. Has to get out of the way as it gets away from the catcher Horn, but he's able to bat it down in front of him. And Brown will have to retreat to second. Hit hard into right, but Bertolucci got under it. It should be enough for Brown to tag. Brown safely into third. And a nice piece of hitting nonetheless by Bertolucci, driving that one deep into right, exactly where you want to put it to tag. And with only one out, it allows for England to bring Brown home with another deep ball. Another one of these 5 seniors, and now making his second at bat. The seniors got posters put up of them behind home plate, showcasing their accomplishments and pictures. Plenty of posters, balloons around the field today supporting the Trojan seniors. So that's outside. Some ribbon, lots of pomp and celebration on this senior day. It's in there for a strike to England, 1-1. Speedy Brown at third. Trying to extend the lead again for Petaluma. They got 3 runs in the bottom of the first, added 2 more in the second. That misses outside, gets away from the catcher. Brown sprinting home. Save! What a circus move by Joe Brown. He raced home like the speed of lightning, but he probably still would have not been in time. He reached his hand over the tag of Albano Dito to swipe home plate before the Brave pitcher was able to make contact with the freshman. What a circus move, so acrobatic from Brown. England fouls it straight back to me. Two and two. Almost every game as a freshman, Brown makes a play that makes you say, wow. I wonder when a senior, how many plays a game is he going to make that make you say, wow? Well, big leaguers always have talents that you just can't teach, and Brown has a couple of those. 2-2 to England. Swing and a miss, but the ball gets away from the catcher, rolls all the way to the fence where it's stuck and goes through the fence. And that means that the afternoon continues to get worse for Justin Siena. The strikeout of England, but he advances on the pass ball. The baseball has literally rolled under the fence and into the home stands. Pinch hitter here, and senior Zach Clark is going to get in at bat as Jim Salvatello is trying to make sure that all the seniors get an opportunity. They throw back to first. Clark's mostly been used as a pinch runner this year for Petaluma, but he's batting .200 on the season. In there for a strike, 0-1. We will have the senior ceremony after the game, honoring these 5 seniors. So stay tuned for that. Clark crushes this one into left. It will get down for a base hit. A nice single for Clark on his senior day. Always good to see. And it's first and second with one out. So we are back at the top of the order, and here is Lewis, and the Trojans try to continue to expand the deficit and start total a couple more. They can start flirting with the mercy rule next inning. 10 runs needed for a mercy rule victory. Lewis gets out of the way, gets behind the catcher, and another passed ball, wild pitch, whatever you want to rule it. Pills have been bouncing all over the place this afternoon. And the Trojans have been on their toes base running and gotten all the free passes they can get. And that will do it. Albano Dito day is done. He gets a sad applause from the Justin Siena crowd. It's been a rough day for him. The Braves will make a pitching change here at the top of the third. It's Petaluma 6. Justin Siena, nothing. So 6-0 as Justin Siena will try to make a new look here in Petaluma, on the west side of Petaluma. It's not the only VVAL game going around this afternoon across the Vine Valley in Napa. Sonoma Valley, first place Sonoma Valley along with Petaluma, taking on the Grizzlies. And that is a game Petaluma will keep their eye on. They're big Grizzly fans this afternoon. If Sonoma Valley does happen to trip up somewhere and Petaluma wins out, the Trojans would win a VVAL title outright. How sweet that would be in the inaugural season for Petaluma to be able to find a way to do that. And so unlikely after they went through that rough patch of the year, fell all the way back to second to last place in VVAL, lost to Justin Siena, and everything seemed to be falling apart for this team, but they've still got a shot now at a league pennant, as does the softball team, who's in a very similar spot, beat Justin Siena yesterday. They're in control of their own destiny with 2 games left, but they also need some help if they want to win outright. They're currently in a 3-way tie with Vintage and Napa. They play Vintage next week along with American Canyon, so if they win both of those games, they'd at least be co-champs with Napa. If they get some help from Napa, then the Trojans would be co-champs outright in softball. So both softball and baseball will be on the road next week, hoping that they can take home a league pennant and be the 6th and 7th league pennant won by a Trojan team this year. For the challenges of the VVAL, there's been a lot of successes for Petaluma in terms of taking home league titles. Back on out to the field, and a new pitcher for Justin Siena, hoping make something different. It's Max Castellucci, the senior, another senior on this experienced Justin Siena squad. Castellucci 1-2 on the year with a 4.62 ERA as he pitches a first pitch strike. Facing Lewis, with Brown at second and England at third. I'm sorry, Bertolucci at second. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Takes inside. Nice stop by Horn, the catcher, and it loads the count. Payoff pitch, swinging and out of play. Popped up, and again out of play. Good battle so far here by Lewis. That's what the Trojans have done all day. Fouled off pitches, waited for their pitch, got it, and driven it. A tough first at bat for Castellucci. Here's the 8th pitch. Off speed, dies low, and it loads the bases. Brings up dangerous Sam Brown, already the second time today. He's strided to the plate with the bases loaded. The Braves just can't get out of their own way. A lot of walks and a lot of hits by Petaluma, just unrelentless in batting. Trojans 85 RBIs on the season, and they've really just been a contact team, got balls in play. Their slugging percentage is actually lower than their on-base percentage, which is remarkable. As Brown clobbered that one. That one is way gone foul. I think that it landed in the quad. Made a loud sound. Brad could destroy balls. Petaluma last year hit a lot of home runs, much bigger slugging percentage as that goes foul. Had a .543 slugging percentage last year, 15 home runs. They had 71 doubles and 4 triples. This year, just 25 doubles, 1 triple, and just 2 home runs for a .320 slugging percentage. Instead, it's been for contact. Just singles, getting balls in play, getting the runners moving, and it's working nearly as effectively. Power surge is a lot more pretty, but this wins ball games, and I think it frustrates pitchers more to just see balls land and play, land and play, land and play. A team that just won't go down without a fight. The 0-2 to the talented junior, who has the 2 home runs for Petaluma on the year. And Brown is K'd up. Didn't like that call. 2 down. And there's a little bit of merchandise exchanging on the Trojan dugout, which is the reason for the delay. Here comes Gallagher, waiting to put on his ankle brace. The senior captain, who's been walking up with the same walk-up music for the last 2 years of his varsity career. Playing his final scheduled game here at Abbey Field, but as Michael mentioned when we talked to him, Jordan's hoping with a couple more victories they can get a home game for NCS, at least one. And they can hope to make a run at NCS. Last year eliminated in the first round in extra innings against El Cerrito. A wild game that went 9 innings. Was over a 3-hour game. Gallagher fouls it back. Petaluma came back from 1 strike in the 7th, took a lead, had a lead in that game for a while, fell behind again in the 9th and couldn't come back. It was the end of the careers for 11 seniors and 6 Little League World Series All-Stars. No Little League World Series All-Stars on this team. Plenty of special talent and special seniors nonetheless. Especially Gallagher, who takes high and tight. The pleasure of being on Jack Gallagher's Majors Little League team, in fact. Hit 3 home runs in one game. Catches the outside corner, 2-2. Gallagher's still the great guy he was all the way back then when he was in 6th grade, that he still is now. A leader on the baseball field and off. The 2-2. Gallagher was jammed, gets a piece of it, fouls it off. And when the Trojans have gotten out, they've battled so much, it's made every inning long and hard. Garahan's been sitting on the bench again forever. And the 3rd time around for all these batters. Still in the 3rd as Gallagher strikes out. Nice piece of work of hitting by Castellucci. 2 strikeouts for him to get out of the jam made by Albano Dito. And again, it's not a massive inning, by Petaluma, but the Trojans just continue to tack on a couple more runs every inning, and it gets to a deficit that's near impossible to come back from. And Garahan continues his pitching, and the Braves, not a team that hits big. It is going to be challenging for the Braves to mount a comeback, trailing by 7 runs as we head to the 4th on a beautiful day from Abbey Field. Big crowd for Senior Day, honoring their 5 seniors. The weather beautiful, a Friday afternoon, and it can't be a lot better on an afternoon like this. Really what high school baseball is all about, and a lot of fun so far to see all the seniors getting out and getting an opportunity to hit. Saw Zach Clark able to get a base hit. Saw Wilson come in and get ahead. And so far, Gallagher and Jacobs, as always, and along with England, have been a big part of things as their careers come to a close, especially for Gallagher and Jacobs. 2.5-year varsity players have meant so much for this program, last year's team, and were called up for FCL and NCS 2 years ago. Heart and soul and leaders of this team will be dearly missed by Coach Shelvatella, and he'll certainly have trouble replacing them on next year's squad, but the future is still so bright for Petaluma with all the seniors that they have, and or with all the sophomores they have, I should say, and the talented youth, Brown, Lewis. This team really, the program continues to pipe out talent, and the JV and freshman team's very strong as well, both with winning records on the season. Freshman team is 13-7, 8-1 overall, and the JV team 12-7-1. They're 7-1 in league, so a lot of success on both sides for the younger squads that will be future varsity players here on the west side of purple and Petaluma, and the purple and white pinstripes. Dominic Moore pops it up. Look out in the stands as it bounces right in between the 2 tables that will be used for the after-game dinner. How many viewers we got, Jamie? She's checking as it's 0-2 on Moore, who pops it up in an awkward spot. Center fielder coming in, and a nice catch is made down on one knee. To make the catch was Clark, who's entered on center after pinch hitting. So we appreciate our 3 viewers this afternoon, and if you missed any of this game, it'll all be up on our YouTube channel. Also, as John Horn strides in, we're at Wednesday's affair, a big victory over Sonoma Valley to put Petaluma in a tie for first place, and just a really well-played game by both sides. Petaluma really proved they were a better, more disciplined team than the Dragons, and Mark Wolbert was brilliant. 6 strikeouts from the mound in that one. That full game's up on our YouTube channel with play-by-play and interviews. And the Trojans' victory against Casa earlier this year, along with the game against Vintage, also up on our channel. Petaluma heads into NCS. They have any home games, we'll be live streaming them. This is our last scheduled live stream of the year, but promise we will continue to be out at more. Softball teams should be at home for NCS as well. So stay right here on our channel. We'll have more live streams and coverage of both baseball and softball as they continue their season. Hope to make it out to track next week for the NCS Regional Championships. Takes inside, 3-2. Can you bring up? The payoff pitch on coming to Moore as Garahan continues to work hard. Chop foul. Garahan continuing to fight and battle out there. It's been so many interruptions for him, but hasn't let that stop him. A walk by Castellucci, however, and he reaches. So you can takes low. 1 out, 1 on. Petaluma leading 6-0 in the top of the 4th. Senior day at at Abbey Field, Steve Ellison Field. Next to us, it's beautiful Friday. In there for a strike. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them in our live chat. If you like this video, can like it. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't as well. We have no comments, so you could be the first. Catches the inside corner, 1-2. Justin Siena trying to get their 3rd league victory of the season and get out of dwelling in the cellar with Napa, whose season has already come to a close. This one is ripped down the line, just foul. Petaluma's had a weird schedule to end their season. This is their only home game for the last month of the season. Their last home game was all the way back on April 12th against Vintage. Went to the Boris Classic, which did not go well at all. Lost their first 3 games there, including getting no hit by the rival Gauchos. There's one, and Bertolucci unable to turn it, but nice play by Jacobs to get the out. 2 down on the fielder's choice. Braves badly searching for a run, but this Trojan defense isn't going to gift it to them. The Braves are going to have to earn it. Here's Marcus Nunes, the junior infielder. He's 0 for 2 today. Big swing and a miss as Nunes spun around like a ballerina. That'd be a big ballerina, though. Takes some big handfuls of dirt trying to get a grip on his bat. His hands are big, too. He's got to make sure to hold on to his big piece of lumber. So another big swing and a miss. He's trying to swing for the fences, but Garahan blowing it right by him. The speed Garahan can build from his tall frame, it's really hard to deal with. This is high. 1-2. Garahan, 21 strikeouts compared to 9 walks on the season. Excellent control. Just 1 complete game so far. It was a impressive outing. Just 3 runs given up against a very good Redwood team in Larkspur in March. Swing and a miss. Garahan sprints off the mound. That was an impressive at-bat there. And the Trojans quickly dismiss the Braves in the top of the 4th. Another quick inning for Justin Siena. And Garahan isn't going to be the star of this game, but boy, is he just rolling along easily, comfortable out there. And Petaluma lost to the Braves last time. They really look like they've had revenge on their mind and wanted to make things different this time around, coming out against the Braves. And that loss was so costly for them on multiple levels. They were embarrassed after their loss to Justin Siena. That was not a game they were supposed to lose. It was supposed to be really one in a VVAL that's been so much more challenging that they could really kind of cruise a little bit more, but they found themselves in a battle against this feisty Braves team, which has proven to be feisty, and all of a sudden they couldn't pull things together and fell, and that was just part of a slide that they had. That one wasn't even struggling pitching. They only gave up 4 runs, but were unable to find the victory against Justin Siena. And this higher level of competition in VVAL is interesting, and I think that's been a big benefit for the baseball team this year. Last year in SCL were 10-2, but they really were heads and heels above every other team in the Sonoma County League, and especially once they rounded into their best form, weren't really competitive with any of the other best teams in SCL and cruised by them, and had so many games that were a waste too against LC Allen and Healdsburg. Just the Trojans completely outclashed the other opponents, and VVAL, that hasn't happened. Every team's been even. Head back out onto the field. Ethan Wilson will get his second at bat as a senior, and if you haven't heard Old Town Road enough in the last month, the fans hear the most popular song in the world. If you read the lyrics, you might be questioning life, liberty, and happiness, why it's the most popular song in the world. Because I don't even think Gucci cowboy hats exist. But please tell me in the comment section if they do. Two 2-0 to Wilson. Maybe Wilson wears Gucci cowboy hats. Pops it up foul. 2-1. 5'9", 130-pound senior. Couple years on JV. Worked hard. Get rewarded with a year on varsity when you're a senior. Not a lot of people willing to do that. Shows a lot about Wilson as he takes high. 3-1. We were talking about VVAL and the increased level of competition, and really looking at that and looking at VVAL overall, I think it really has been a benefit that the Trojans have joined it. There was definitely a lot of concern coming in about how it would be as Wilson works a walk for all the Petaluma teams, but I think especially for the most competitive Petaluma teams, such as baseball, softball, girls soccer, it's really been nice to have going up against other high-level opponents and getting day in and day out exceptional teams, face some diversity. You really get better as a team over the course of the year. The Trojans wouldn't have the up and downs they've had this year if they weren't in the VVAL, but I think they've come out a much stronger team now than they were at the beginning of the season, and that's translating well right now to try to win a league pennant. And going to translate a lot better as you go into NCS, and just overall, I think the chemistry of the team, the build of a team, and when you look back and remember your season. Sam Jacobs steps in again. Feels like everyone's getting at bats as this one sails over the head of Horn. And Wilson's got an extra base. I think every inning, too, there's been a pass ball by Justin Siena. It's deja vu over and over and over again. Another nice thing about being in the VVAL this year for Petaluma teams is they've gotten to play Casa a lot more, and having Casa not be in the same league as Petaluma for the last 6 years. Some teams didn't even play Casa some years. Baseball team didn't play Casa 2 years ago because they just have to get the non-league schedules to work out. And now in the same league, you automatically get to play twice. It's going to be 3 times this year due to the Boris, as the teams will play their rubber match on Tuesday at Casa Grande. Jacobs takes a first strike. It's 3-1. Across all sports, I think the Casa Petaluma rivalry is really built up a little bit more this year, especially after the exciting Egg Bowl. But you just get to face your rivals a lot more, and that's always good. The students come out. It's so fun. And it means you get each team gets one home game, with the exception of football because you only play once. But also got to have the Egg Bowl at the end of the year this year. The climax of the season was a lot of fun. The payoff pitch to the senior Jacobs. Foul. Another long at-bat. Castellucci was able to get out of the third inning with 2 strikeouts, but he had to work for both of them, and he's having to work very hard again. Pitch number 9 of this at-bat. Caught the inside corner. Nasty pitch by Castellucci. Strikeout number 3. Well, he certainly has a nice pitching repertoire. He's doing a nice job of hanging in there and keeping this a 6-run ball game. Joe Brown settles in for Petaluma. He's made some more nice plays. They've just gotten better and better over the course of the years. He takes the first pitch strike. You look at the Vine Valley Athletic League again and the transitions from the SCL. Obviously some negatives this year as well, and I think everyone thought the biggest negative would be the travel. Oh, as that hits Brown near the head. Look out. He's all right. Right in between the two shoulder muscles on his back, right below the neck. That's an inch higher. You're really worried about that. There's no protection, but instead it hits the soft spot, and Brown trots down to first without pain. Bertolucci settles in, and now 2 on, 1 out. And the Braves, for the 4th straight inning, have 2 runners again on. No clean innings. That one sails near the head of Bertolucci. Castellucci, it's a lot of Italian names. Needs to take a chill pill. The travel, the VVAL, it's a long drive, and it has been bad, but I'm not sure it's been as bad as I thought it could be, as this is a dribbler to second. Save! Bertolucci the second time has run out, and infield base hit. Nice day for him using his speed. This ball just died in the grass, and Alexander Curley unable to run it down. So for the 3rd straight inning, the bases are loaded. And here comes Mike England trying to blow it open. If Petaluma leads by 10 runs or more in any inning now at the end of it, they automatically will win the ball game. That misses high. Probably took Justin Siena about an hour or so to get here on a Friday afternoon. Probably worse going the other way. I think the drive to American Canyon, if you're going Petaluma to American Canyon, is really the worst. Try to take Lakeville Highway. That gets really clogged up. That can take, especially on a Friday afternoon, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And if you're in a bus, which is a bus for the football team, pretty rough. But if you're on a weekday, it's not horrible. The drive is curvy, and there can be some traffic, and it's longer than in the FCL, but it's doable, and I think the increase in competition makes it worth it. So that's not my biggest complaint, but I do have a major gripe with VVAL this year. So that goes high, 3-1. And no place to put them for England, or with England, so Castellucci's going to need to find the strike zone. Misses high. England will walk, and that will walk in a run. It's 7-0. Wilson comes home to score as he entered from a walk. That's going to be his 2nd run of the year. Bertolucci goes to second, with England now at first, and Brown at third. As here is Zach Clark, the senior, got a base hit last inning, strides back up. So my major gripe with VVAL, it's not the traveling, but it is the scheduling, which was really horrendous this year. I'm not sure who put together the schedules, the master sheet for the entire VVAL schedule, but it was done lazily. I'm not sure that's a word, but in a lazy manner. It was scheduled pretty much uniform across all sports. That's in there for a strike to Clark, who's not happy about it, 1-1. So for Petaluma, for example, almost every team has opened their season at home against Napa. That misses high. And with the exception of just 2 teams, only the girls' soccer team and the football team, every other senior night, and of course not lacrosse because it's a different league, but every senior night was against Justin Siena. And it's kind of a quirky part of the schedule, but it can become a major disadvantage because the uniform scheduling gives advantages to some teams based on the uniformity across all sports and all teams, and disadvantages to other teams. Misses outside, 3-2 on Clark, and again, a strike must be found by Castellucci. He's going to walk home another run. A swinging ball by Clark to second. 1 out. Clark runs out, though, the ball at first. And another run scores. It's 8-1, a fielder's choice RBI. And runners on the corners with 2 down. Nice piece hitting by Clark to continue to extend the lead. Clark is the winning run at first to end the afternoon if he scores, as Garrett Lewis strides to the plate. For example, talking about those scheduling disadvantages, Justin Siena boys basketball team, every time they played, the team that they were playing in league previously had been on a bye. And they finished last in league in part to that reason, because it's a big advantage to have a bye. For Petaluma, when they played Casa Grande this year in sports, the second time around, Casa always had a bye before. In every sport. And for the Trojans also, most sports, in the second half of league play, 5 out of the 6 games were on the road. Justin Siena is the only home game. So just like poorly structured schedule, but every single Petaluma team had to suffer from it. That bounces in the front of the plate, and Castellucci, who got a couple strikeouts early, has completely lost his control. 3-0 in a conversation with the catcher. I think Jeremy Tayson has ran out of patience to come to the mound. There's no limit on mound visits in high school baseball, unlike Major League Baseball, but he's letting his senior pitcher out to dry now. 3-0, runners on the corners and 2 out. Petaluma leading 8-0, bottom of the 4th. There's a strike from Castellucci, with Lewis taking all the way. The nice thing with the scheduling is that there's an easy way to fix it. Next year, you randomize the scheduling. You put more work into it, make it random for all teams, and you mostly take out all those advantages. Nice glove play at third, a long throw, and they make it. And Justin Siena lives to fight another day. As we go on to the 5th, Trojans add 2 more runs to make it to 8-0, but none more. They work out of that inning, and we move on to the 5th inning. Trojans need to add just 2 more runs to potentially get a mercy rule, and it's going to send Garahan back out there to continue working. And Trojans would definitely love to get the mercy rule this afternoon, having to go tomorrow to Fair Oaks, a long trip, but a big game against Bella Vista. The nice thing, as Michael said, is that it doesn't matter that much in terms of VBAL standings, obviously not a league game, but even NCS isn't as vital if they lose, because Bella Vista is a CCS or an SJS team from the San Joaquin section, so NCS won't take into as big a factor the game against Bella Vista. Just a little more on that scheduling, though, aspect of VBAL. It's really just very simple. You go in, you randomize the schedule, you mix random, as Garahan is going to get a big applause from the mound to get Salvatella just, we don't have a camera on field, but Garahan walked out onto the mound, and then Coach Jim Salvatella went out to get him, and the whole crowd stood up and cheered on Jim Salvatella, and now the senior Garrett Gehring's going to get an opportunity to pitch. So a nice moment for both Garahan and the senior Gehring, but on that scheduling, it's just an easy fix. You go in, randomize the schedule, work hard, try to make sure things are fair across the border, and maybe occasionally there is that coincidence of something unfair for one team in one sport, but it doesn't leave all Justin Siena teams having to suffer playing games, all their sports, after teams that have byes. And it's just ridiculous and a complete disadvantage to a team to have to, every single team you play has been off a bye. So I've heard already in basketball that they are planning to randomize and fix it, and anticipate that they will do that in all sports next year. And with that, I don't really have a major gripe with VVAL. I think it's been great. I think the competition across all sports has been good. Most leagues have been really exciting, really even, especially baseball and softball have had so much parity. It's been so exciting. The softball race is exceptional. The teams are exceptional. So many good teams, good games. But the same can be said in girls basketball, in football this year, where there's a lot of even games, not a lot of blowouts. There's just not a lot of teams in most sports that are much worse or much better than other squads, and it really leads to some great battles, great affairs, and great league pennant races. And it's a benefit for the teams, for the schools, for the students. And I think the traffic's not great, but you can deal with it. And in the end, on weekdays, you don't get out of class that much earlier. And I think the schedulers have done a good job with times, trying to limit the time kids are out of class for the least amount of possible. Let's head back onto the field as we head to the top of the fifth, and Garrett Gehring gets to pitch on his senior debut. Not gotten a lot of opportunities this year, 4 appearances on the year, and 3.1 innings pitched, a 2.10 ERA. And batters are hitting 400 against him. He pitched last year. He had just 1 appearance, 1 start. It was against San Lorenzo, and it was not a pretty one. Not a batter, so this was the only way Coach Salvatello was going to get him in on his senior day. For the 6 seniors, he gets the opportunity here. Fouled straight back by Alexander Curley. Gehring's in a unique spot. He is the only Petaluma High athlete this year to play all 3 major boys varsity sports. That's fouled off way back and likely into the quad. 1-2. Gehring, tight end for the varsity football team, power forward for the varsity basketball team, and a relief pitcher for the baseball team. Impressive array of athleticism. Luigi Albano Dito does that as well, as the catch was made. The catch was made, so no need to throw. Nice play by Bertolucci to get down on his knees and scoop it up. 1 down. And Gehring gets his first out.
Number 2, Nick Andrews.
1 out. And Nick Andrews, the freshman, in the bottom of the order. Back to the plate. Garahan walked off, but again, what a day for him. Really pitched well today. Should give him some confidence. Popped up into center. 2 down. Nice start by Gehring. He hasn't had a lot of success as a pitcher over the course of his career, but he's got a big smile on his face right now. It's exactly what he wanted. He's played a lot of sports and a lot of different jerseys. But this is it. Just 4 weeks left in the school year. Gehring ends his career. Thomas Lopez back to bat, the senior, batting .200 on the year. In for a strike, 1-1. Gehring looks comfortable and calm out there. Helps with an 8-run lead. The Trojan bats have done the job today. Have made every single inning a battle for Justin Siena. 3 runs in the first, 2 more in the second, 1 more in the third, and 2 more in the fourth. Popped sky high into the air. Bertolucci drifting over makes the catch. This Trojan fielders have been excellent. No errors, no mistakes, and on we go to the bottom of the 5th. Impressive outing by Gehring. He goes 1-2-3. That's actually the first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon for Petaluma pitchers. It's a really nice outing for Garrett Gehring. As we move to the bottom of the 5th, and the Trojans need just 2 more runs to close things out. Very exciting times here at Petaluma High School. A lot going on with AP testing starting next week, though I guess that's not very exciting. But the excitement of the day yesterday, besides the salsa and guacamole contest, was there was some ducklings born right here at Petaluma High. There's a mother duck that inhabits the pond here at Petaluma High School, and She gave birth to 10 cute little baby ducklings yesterday, right in between the B wing and C wing. And then it was a little bit of a calamity right during lunch yesterday. And the ducklings got stuck under a fence line because they tried to make their way back to the pond. Some students had to intervene, help the ducklings up. And then the mama duck, which had completely lost her way, had to be herded back through the doors into the hallway and then into the pond. It took a couple minutes, but everyone was able to reach safety, and it was a heartwarming story in what can sometimes be a dark world, and the news can be dark, but the ducks were all safe, and there's now a mama duck and 10 ducklings swimming around in the pond, which was the talk of the school today. And if you're ever at Petaluma High, check out the pond. They're swimming around now, but pretty soon those baby ducks are going to be big ducks and probably fly away. Let's head back out onto the field as Sam Brown will lead things off in the 5th, and Castellucci will continue working, trying to keep things going for Justin Siena, but it looks like it's going to be another tough loss for them after they lost 9-0 to American Canyon on Tuesday, being blown out again. Brown takes slow. Reference also the salsa and guacamole contest, which was very exciting, which was happening at the same time as the duck rescue. There's a lot going on at lunch yesterday. There was 12 salsa entries, 7 guacamole entries, all from staff across campus, and students got to sample them with chips. There was over 220, I said 200 pounds of chips. That would have been a lot. 20 pounds of chips, as that one is crushed. If that stays fair, it will. Goodbye. Holy cow. Sam Brown destroyed that one, and I think it reached Webster Street. He threw his bat away in vicious style. My goodness. Oh, he made guacamole of that one. 9-0. And for all the delicious guacamoles and salsas yesterday, I don't think anything was as good tasting as that Sam Brown home run. The bat flip was as equally nasty. He tossed it away with a smirk and a smile. The crowd oohed and awed. I wasn't sure if it was going to stay fair, but everyone stood up. They knew that one was going a mile, and someone should run out and try to find that one. It was awfully close to reaching Webster Street the way that one was hit. The right fielder did not even move. It's 300 feet down the line. You get it right about down the line. I think it's about another 50 feet to hit it over the fence, and Brown can hit it a good 400 feet. I think there's a pretty good chance that one made it out onto the street. Saw Bradley Smith have a pretty cool bat flip last year when he had a home run, but Brown might have just topped that one. 2-2 on Jack Gallagher. Trojans need one more run to win things here in the 5th, and mercy rules Justin Siena. That's high. Well, Sam Brown might have won today's salsa competition. Yesterday, Officer Dan Miller, made the winning salsa. And it was Mrs. Chavez, who's a special ed teacher here at Petaluma High, that made this delicious, spicy guacamole. It was this almost liquidy, spicy guacamole. And it had so much flavor in it that I started crying. Yeah, it was that was it. Spicy, creamy guacamole was the name. But the spice was delicious. It was a little much for my taste buds, but well done. Wilson coming up next. Gallagher has walked. Castellucci's day is done, and he's probably still recovering from meeting Sam Brown a minute ago. We'll have a pitching change here if you want to throw it back on me. 9-0, and it's been a fun day on this Friday afternoon. Sam Brown might have had the highlight of the day, though, with that tyrannical bomb to right field. And we mentioned Brown can hit it really hard. That's his third home run of the season, and he hit an equally impressive one on Saturday afternoon at Serra, the state powerhouse in San Mateo, which Petaluma defeated 10-3. And the wind on that one actually kind of similar to today, not a bit, but harder wind, according to Coach Paul Braw, was blowing in. Brown hit it up into the wind, but it hit so hard it went through the wind and off the scoreboard against Serra. And Petaluma beat Serra for the second straight year, a top 20 state powerhouse, and the Trojans swept their meeting with Serra. I don't think Serra, when they scheduled Petaluma in non-league, was expecting that. But Sam Brown also hit a home run to a similar place that he just hit today's. So he's certainly terrorized the Padres, and they're going to be remembering him when he heads off to Santa Clara, right near San Mateo, in a couple years to play baseball. 9-0 again, Petaluma needing one more run to finish, and we also will have the senior ceremony after the game. So stay tuned. Petaluma will honor its 6 seniors. We should have some nice words as they walk across the field one final time with their parents and family this afternoon. And then we'll also have interviews, so stay tuned with some emotional seniors after this game. Let's head back on into the field. Ethan Wilson, his third at bat. He had a walk and scored last inning. Trying to close things out for Petaluma here in the 5th. New pitcher for Justin Siena. William Natuzzi, just his second appearance as a pitcher this year. Inside, 1-1. Appreciate again everyone tuning in. Any comments, feel free to talk on the live chat. So we got a pinch runner here. Trojans are letting their bench get some time. Zimmerman entering the pinch run for Gallagher. Mentioned he had a big day on Wednesday. Salsa and guacamole competition, not the only thing happening at Petaluma High this week. There was a job fair today at lunch. We saw a lot of businesses talking to students to try to hire them, from Mary's and Target, variety of other opportunities for students. But this evening, another performance of Once Upon a Mattress. Or is it Once Upon a Pea? I can't remember. Once Upon a Pea. I think it's originally Once Upon a Mattress, but in a bridge version of that, it's Once Upon a Pea. Done by the drama department here at Petaluma High School, in their second week of doing that. They have one more show tomorrow. I think curtain opens at 7 o'clock. Popped sky high into the air near the Petaluma dugout. Third baseman ranging over and making the catch for the Braves. Well, Justin's not ready to come home just yet as Andrews makes the catch. 1 out. And here comes Sam Jacobs. Final at-bats for these seniors and their time here at Petaluma High. Ones to remember. The next 2 weeks will be AP testing here at Petaluma High, but the week always finishes with a bang in 2 weeks as Jacobs hits it foul. Look out into the Justin Siena fan section. The car show and the yearbook is also passed out. That's 2 weeks from today. Early release from school. Students drive out their grandmothers and grandfathers' wild race cars, old-fashioned cars, sports cars. Show them off. There's often some fun games out at Ellison Field, and that it also happens to be Powder Puff in 2 weeks. So that is our next scheduled live stream. We're going to be bringing to you hopefully both the freshmen versus the sophomores, and then the junior versus the seniors. Powder Puff football as it hits the senior. It It's now first and second in the walk-off run in scoring position. Joe Brown to the plate. And just one out in the bottom of the fifth with Petaluma leading 9-0. Justin Siena and Petaluma. Senior day from Abbey Field. Should be a good powder puff games. The sophomores have got a lot of talent. They've been winning everything in terms of friendly school competitions, in terms of sports. Won Rowdy Ruff a couple weeks ago in volleyball. Won the basketball tournament last semester, and also won the dodgeball tournament last semester. They won't get a look at the seniors, though, this time. I think to the seniors' happiness, they're going to face the juniors. Last year, big victories for the upperclassmen, sophomores and seniors, so be interesting to see if we get anything different. I know the juniors are gunning for the seniors this year in Powder Puff. One of the most fun events of the year. We'll be at Brazil's patio for that. This one is crushed into center. Center fielder going back at the warning track and making the catch. No one will tag, so 2 down. Brown tattooed that ball, but to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. If he did it to right, where his brother had earlier this inning, it probably would have left the ballpark.
Pitch hitting for the Trojans, number 25, Danny O'Hagan.
Here is O'Hagan. Junior first baseman will pinch hit. With 2 down and 2 on. First pitch swinging, driven into right field, racing in and not making the catch here will come Zimmerman. The ball game is over. Mercy rule, that should do it. Maybe we're not playing mercy rule. Oh, just kidding. I was ready to get out of here, but hold on. No mercy rule, it appears. Well, the umpires can agree to keep on playing, but if I'm Coach Salvatella, I would not want to keep on playing with the game tomorrow. Looks like they're going to have a discussion about it, but they can mercy rule it at 10 runs. And his Trojans did have a game earlier this season where they were losing by more than 10 and decided to play it out. I think Coach Salvatella is ready to end the evening. And indeed he is. That will be the ball game. Final score here today. Petaluma 10, Justin Siena nothing, as the Trojans mercy rule over the Braves in 5 innings. Tough play out in right field with the Braves unable to make it. And with Trojans taking on Bella Vista of Fair Oaks, the good Broncos tomorrow. This team's finally getting this game in. They tried to play it last year. It got rained out and never made it up. It was rained out in March, but tomorrow there shouldn't be any rain here in early May, so they're going to be finally able to play it. I think the Braves want to continue to play, so they're reluctantly walking out. But the bottom of the fifth, this game can conclude. Coach Salvatella is going to have a conversation with Justin Siena manager Jeremy Tayson. And it appears they have changed their minds. So they're decided they're going to play things out here, even with the Petaluma leading 10-0. And we'll give Garrett Gehring some more time as pitcher. So some of the fans were packing up their chairs, getting ready to get out of here, but you can head right back out there. 2 outs, and here's Mike England. I do have to get up to Rohnert Park as the softball team taking on Rancho Cotati tonight in the annual Friday Night Lights game. One of the most fun games of the year, as the two powerhouses of Sonoma County softball do battle every year under the lights on a Friday night at M Park in Rohnert Park. Such a beautiful scene. It's always a packed crowd for the historic game. And some of the top softball players battle it out, and especially this year, it's much later in the year. It was moved back about a month due to the rain. And the near end of the year, it's actually the final game of the regular season for Rancho, who has the NBL tournament, and they are the NBL Oak champions, and Petaluma could be the VVAL champions. I think it's the best two softball teams in Sonoma County, and they've actually already played twice this year. England takes inside, and now with their no imminent conclusion to this game, Natuzzi's going to have to find some strikes, or we could be out here for a while. There's a strike for Natuzzi. Three and two as Natuzzi walks it back to a full count. Petaluma Rancho starts at 7:30. I'll be there, full coverage, not live, but we'll have it up on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. Especially important with both teams near the top of NCS. Rancho projected the first seed, Petaluma's the third. England pops it sky high into the air at second. The catch is made and the side is retired. Trojans add 2 more runs on the Brown homer and then grab another one, and we will move on to the 6th inning, 10-0 the score here between Petaluma and Justin Siena as the Trojans continue to roll on here and are going to get another victory, it so appears, and keep on their hitting streak. Garahan was brilliant pitching, and the Trojans have really done an excellent job here tonight, playing a complete effort and a complete game. It appears that Coach Salvatella talking to the umpires again, so we'll see if this game does conclude early. Back on that softball game with Rancho, only lost 2 games so far all season. They haven't lost a game since early March, and the Cougars on a roll. Talented upperclassmen team, currently projected as the 1 seed in NCS Division 2. Petaluma currently projected as the 3 seed. The Trojans can beat Rancho. They could move up to being that number 1 seed. It's a massive game for NCS Division 2 and playoff seedings. And Petaluma is also looking for some revenge. They lost twice to Rancho Cotati at the Napa High tournament a couple weeks ago. They blew leads in both games and lost on walk-offs by 1 run in both games. So revenge is a major factor in that game between Petaluma and Rancho Cotati when those two do battle up in Roner Park in about an hour and a half. Should be a lot of fun between the Cougars and the Trojans. We'll head back out onto the field with Garrett Guerin getting another inning of work. The senior did a nice job in the 5th, a 1-2-3 inning, hoping to continue his success now on into the 6th. So unless my ears deceive me, they both agreed to end it after this inning, so they will end it after 6 with the 10-run lead for Petaluma. As Noah Young, the sophomore, digs in for the Braves, hitting .321 on the season. Swings at the first pitch and lines this into the right center gap. This ball is going to roll all the way to the warning track, and Young will hustle into second with a double. Nice piece of hitting from Young, and something for the Braves fans to cheer about. Hasn't been a lot today. Update on the VVAL standings, where Petaluma with a victory will go to 7-3 today. We'll see if we can get you a Sonoma Valley Napa score and see if the Dragons continue to stay in first place. They'll only play Justin Siena next week, and if they win that and they take care of business today, they will automatically be VVL champs, and then Petaluma will have to win out as well. Vintage, Casa, and American Canyon all currently with 4 losses. So if both Sonoma and Petaluma were to stumble in the next week, any of those teams could rise up and take a co-title. And we talked about earlier VVAL and how even it's been, and it shows in baseball with having the top 5 teams all within 1 game of the loss column of each other, and even Justin Siena is just 2 back at 2-6. Napa's found a way to get 2 victories at 2-8. There haven't been too much ugly. Bounces off the mask of Gallagher, and Young hustles down to third. I'm enjoying a smoothie as you speak, so if you're hearing weird slurping sounds, good strawberry smoothie on a sunny day does not disappoint. Nor is the Trojan baseball this afternoon. Pitch outside to Albano Dito. It's 3-1 as Gehring takes a look at the scoreboard and tries to reset himself. Only the 5th inning of baseball he's pitched all year, but it's senior day. He gets the honor. Inside. It's away from Gallagher. The Brave runner decides to stay at first. Runners on the corners, and nobody out. Gehring running into some trouble here. We do have a final from Napa, and not good news for Petaluma. The Grizzlies battled hard this afternoon. Not a great game for Sonoma against lowly Napa, who's 2-20 now on the year. But the Dragons get the victory over the Grizzlies, 4-2, and they're 1 game away from a VBAL title. Vintage was also playing American Canyon this afternoon, so that would eliminate 1 team from contention. Gehring struggling to find his control, 2-1. Gallagher tells Gehring, play catch with me. First inning, Gehring's batting. He was pitching, now he's throwing. That's a better pitch from Gehring, who's struggled on his control much of his career, 2-2. Misses high, it's a full count. That ball gets away, no one goes, and that will load the bases. So bases loaded, no one out, and this is, I think, why Coach Salvatella might have not wanted to continue this ball game. But now he's going to be obliged to. There's our first pitch strike. Thank you. This is outside. Do you know where the 1-2. Fouled off. Bounces low in front of Gallagher, gets away from him. He's starting to get wary, but the Braves still looking for their first run. Don't want to risk it. The 2-2. Again, fouled off, and the night grows longer with the foul balls. Gallagher goes out to talk to his friend Gehring, both seniors and have known each other for many years. There is action in the Trojan pen. Zarco ready to come in if things get ugly here in the 6th. Petaluma honoring its 6 seniors on Senior Day. Each have gotten opportunities to hit, to pitch, to field. This one ripped down the line. It's fair. 1 run will score. Here comes a second. And it's a 2 RBI base hit. And now you can't mercy rule at the end of this inning unless the Trojans answer. Albanadito scores from second. And a 2 RBI single. Gehring still looking for an out in this 6th inning. James Snook, the junior, strides up, looking to keep things going for the Braves, who are on the board for the first time. Zarco still getting ready in the pen. A swing and a miss from Snook. It gets away from Gallagher. The runners advance. Throw down to third. Just in time. Gallagher's got a rocket of an arm. He's thrown out a couple runners this year. Nearly made that happen, but it got too far away from him. Things could get a little interesting here now with a base hit or two. Suddenly it's a 6-run game, and the deficit doesn't feel so great. Inside, and many more issues on this next batter. I think the day has to be done for Gehring. Still a vital VVAO game. Lined up the middle and caught. Nice play by Bertolucci, racing back on his back legs and making a leaping catch on the lip of the grass. Impressive play by the shortstop. So 1 out, second and third, 10-2 Petaluma. But Justin Siena bench trying to make some noise and keep the energy going. Impressive, they're keeping their heads up and keep on fighting after they've had a rough week this week. Some blowout games. Misses outside. Zarco's ready now in the pen, which Coach Salvatella now sees, the third-year manager for the Trojans. See how long they ride Gehring. That's a strike, 1-1. Salvatella's done such a great job with this young team, building them up. 47-28 now in his 3 years as coach. Former JV coach at Casa, former firefighter as well. He definitely grows these guys as men as well. Teaches them a lot, not just about baseball, but about life, and that's what a good coach truly is. It's in there for a strike. We were reminded of great coaches and how much they mean to us by the passing of softball coach Sean O'Keefe last week, tragically dying of cancer much too young. And affecting the softball team, who had 2 of his daughters on the team. They didn't play the rest of last week, but Mandy O'Keefe made her first appearance in a Trojan jersey since her father passed away and came out, pitched 3 perfect innings. What a story, and she's likely going to get the start tonight against Rancho Cotati under the lights. Now her father will be looking down from above. It's high, 2-2. Petaluma is at Bella Vista tomorrow before traveling just right across town to Casa Grande on Tuesday. That is hammered foul. Look out for windows. It's on top of the roof of the E-wing. Another good battle by a Brave batter, Natuzzi. Chopped foul. No, it is fair ball. Here come 2 runs to score to make it 10-4, and Natuzzi safely in the second. Here comes Coach Salvatella. He couldn't walk out of the dugout faster. And with all the reserves in the game for Petaluma, it's a 6-run ball game. Well, great first inning for Gehring. It could have been smoother, 1, 2, 3, and this inning has turned disastrous fast. Mario Zarco waiting as Coach Salvatella talks to his senior, and he leaves the mound one final time. Gets an applause from the crowd. And Zarco enters to try to stop the bleeding here against the Braves. See if he's able to calm things down. Sometimes things start going, you let down your guard a little bit, and suddenly you can't put on the brakes. Has to be concern here for Petaluma. Got a runner on second. Still just 1 out, and the Braves still have 3 more outs to work with in the 7th inning. Potentially keep the scoreless in the 6th. Could help. So Zarco will settle in as Petaluma leads by 6. And not a lot of pitching experience this year for the sophomore, but it's the Achilles heel of Petaluma. It's a small bullpen. And Coach Salvatella not wanting to exhaust any key resources for tomorrow in Fair Oaks. Zarco a 2.21 ERA and 6.1 innings pitched. 4 walks, and opposing batters have a reach base 21.7% of the time. Some increased energy on this senior night now as Alexander Curley, the senior, strides to the plate for the Braves. 7 seniors on the Braves, and with the exception of 1 all-upperclassman, very different than Petaluma, who's over half their team is underclassmen. Coach Salvatella likes to joke, well, half of them can't even have their driver's license yet. Some of them can play baseball like the best of them. Curley swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Luckily, no one was warming up in the bullpen because it took a straight shot there. Zarco got the call up along with Bertolucci last year for the FCL tournament and the NCS playoffs. Got some experience there after he was on JV last year. This one is lined hard up the middle, but right into center field to Clark. 2 down and a much, much needed out for Petaluma. Zarco gets 1 more here, and the momentum is certainly frayed. And the Trojans can feel more comfortable about where they're at. Here's Nick Andrews for the Braves. Private Catholic school, Justin Siena. They play Division IV. About 800 students, both boys and girls. And a variety of different sports that they excel in, and some they don't. High academic institution, though, in Napa. If you choose to look for the private school, it's the only private school in Napa County. You also get the religious education as well. Their campus is really beautiful. Been on it a couple times, both for football and tennis, and really looks like a small liberal arts college. The rolling greens, grasses. Ground ball to third. Long throw for Brown in time. So Zarco takes care of business when he enters, and 4 is all Justin Siena will get. On to the bottom of the 6th we go. Petaluma 10, Justin Siena 4. So Trojans, if they want to get the mercy roll, would have to claw back and get 4 runs. Coach Salvatella's decision coming back to bite if anyone had any early dinner plans, but it's getting more experience for everyone. That is for certain. And talking about Justin Siena's campus, it's really beautiful. The buildings as well are really a rustic, nice design. It's a relatively small campus, but long rolling greens and pathways, especially in the sun. It looks really beautiful. And they have state-of-the-art athletic facilities as well. A football game that was played there. It was their homecoming. Fans were going nuts. They had a massive student section and a whiteout with their white pom-poms. They turned up the music. They knew when to turn up the music, and the students knew when to get loud, too, which is something that's really hard for a lot of student sections to do. I've heard student sections get loud at completely the wrong time because they don't actually understand the game. The Justin Siena students knew what was going on third down. It would get wild. Big plays in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were bouncing around. It could have been Camp Randall in Wisconsin. It could have been the Big House in Michigan. It could have been Austin Stadium in Oregon. It was a wild scene there. Petaluma was able to come out with a win, but the stands are beautiful, state-of-the-art, and it's a small, compact field. And the place was just going nuts for homecoming. It was a lot of fun to watch that one. It was a really exceptional game. Barrett Donahoe, the quarterback for the Braves, was running all over the place. A lot of points put up. Garrett Freitas had 270 yards, and it was really just a classic game between those two on the beautiful campus. It's just off the freeway in West Napa, and all the Petaluma teams been able to spend a lot of time in Napa this year with the 4 Napa teams the 4 teams in Napa County, 3 in Napa along with American Canyon. So a lot of time in Napa, which is something a lot of people in Sonoma County, Sonoma County don't spend a lot of time in. It's a long, winding drive, but it is a really beautiful drive through the vineyards. So on to the bottom of the 6th we go. Here's Zach Clark to lead things off for Petaluma as it bounces in front of him. And William Natuzzi, the 5'6" senior, will start. He's awfully short for a senior, I have to say. When he strode to the mound, I thought he was a freshman. 5'6", 140. He has nice speed. The control is what could be better. 2-0 quickly on the senior Clark. Now his 3rd at bat. He's had a nice day in his final game here at Abbey Field. Wearing some nice purple cleats as well, showing that purple and white pride. This is outside. This has been a long game, a lot of runs scored. Petaluma innings have been very long. It's in there for a strike. 2 hours, 25 minutes into this one, and the fans have managed to stick around as the sun is setting here over Abbey Field. Plenty of time, though, left for daylight into May. Bounces low. Clark will walk. Garrett Lewis next up. Top of the order for Petaluma. 1 on, nobody out. I did get a request for seeing the ducklings I was talking about an inning ago. The ducklings born here at Petaluma High just yesterday, and I did actually take some footage of it, so we'll have that on Trojan Live next week on our daily morning announcements, probably around 8:30 morning show, Monday or Tuesday. Check that out. They walked literally right across the hallway. Students had to make a little escort them, a line. Lewis's head, and I tell you, this game just does not want to end. So 2 on, and Petaluma's had nearly everyone bats today. And they're going to get another one, too. Will Krupp gets his just 2nd at-bat of his career, called up along with Zimmerman for the Boris tournament to give Petaluma a little more depth for the prestigious 4-day tournament. Krupp's not afraid to swing, lines it up the middle. It hit off the second base bag, but he is out. And it helped it hit off the second base bag, so it's an easy double play. 2 down.
Number 10, Jack Gallagher.
Here's Jack Gallagher. Final plate appearance, unless things really get wild for the senior. Trojans with a win will stay half a game back in VVAL. Softball and baseball, not the only two sports today. The track team, as Gallagher bounces this one off the mound. Nice play by Menatuzzi. And the side is retired. No runs on one hit batter, and one stranded. On to the top of the 7th. 3 more outs for Petaluma to close things out here against Justin Siena. It's 10-4. So the track team also playing here, or not playing here, but in action tonight. They are at American Canyon for the Vine Valley Athletic League Championships. It's the finals tonight. A lot of athletes qualified on Wednesday. Should be really interesting to check out the results tonight and see who advances to the MBL Redwood qualifiers, which will be next Saturday at Maria Correa. I'm hoping to make it out. I was at the MBL, or the NCS, I should say, not MBL. NCS Redwood qualifiers last year. I am losing track of time at this point. It was a lot of fun. See all the top athletes everywhere north of the Golden Gate Bridge, from Marin County all the way up to Del Norte, up in Crescent City, and a lot of great competition last year. We had Jack Dunbar, the senior, in one of his final races, a classic race. He nearly stunned elite runner Liam Anderson, who's one of the top runners in the state last year. No more Dunbar, but Sydney Dennis should be the shiner next weekend for Petaluma. The senior is an incredible athlete. She does 4 events, and she's hoping that tonight she can do the, not trifecta, but the quadfecta. I think I'm making a word up now, but Dennis, it goes beyond words to describe her, really. It's the long jump, the triple jump, the 100 hurdles, and the 300 hurdles. She currently has the best marks in 3 of those events. She's certainly got a shot tonight to win all 4, and that would just be a remarkable accomplishment for the senior if she's able to do that. She's not the only one, though. Callie Sullivan has had some really impressive performances the last couple weeks, including at qualifiers. At qualifiers, she had the best time in the 100, the 200, and second best in the 400. So the sprinter for Petaluma also trying to show up and have a big performance. And a couple others for Petaluma can, even if they can't win this afternoon in American Canyon after their track, certainly should have a good opportunity next week to NCS, and some seniors finish up their careers and others continue to build and hope to make it to the state meet potentially next week if they finish high enough. Top 8, and then sometimes are taken into consideration, make it to the NCS Meet of Champions, which normally is at Berkeley in the historic Memorial Stadium there. This year, Diablo Valley Community College in Walnut Creek. And top 3 finishers there then go to the CIF State Meet near the end of May in Bakersfield. I think California is the only state where the reward for all your hard work at the end of the year as an athlete is to go to Bakersfield, or a city like Bakersfield. No offense to the people of Bakersfield, but if you're in Colorado, you're going to finish in Denver. If you're in Florida, you're probably going to finish in Orlando. But the cities in the middle of California maybe are not the most prestigious, but try to get close transportation for everyone. Hasn't been a Trojan athlete in a while that has made their way to Bakersfield for the track finals, and Dennis got pretty close last year in the triple jump. She has the 12th best triple jump mark in Redwood Empire history, so she certainly should have an opportunity in the triple jump to do just that. She was 5th last year, and her marks currently are good enough to go to state. We'll see if she can do that. Strikeout there by Zarco, 1 down. Petaluma needs 2 more outs. We will have the senior ceremony after. I hope they can get through it fast, but the senior ceremony coming up right after this game concludes, and then some interviews. Swing and a miss by Bodie Upson. I think everyone on all rosters is hit now. At least those that aren't pitchers. It's been a lot of action for everyone out on the diamond in this Friday night affair. The 0-2 from Zarco, who's tearing through his work. Track not the only sport still going. Also today, badminton VVAL tournament and the mixed doubles tournament was hosted right here at Petaluma High School. It's been quite a last few days for the badminton team. Last week winning the VVAL title, as this one is hit high into the air and center. Coming over in left and making the catch is the Trojan left fielder. That would be Dan O'Hagan manning left field in these latter stages. 2 down. Petaluma needs one more, and they're going to have to do it against the Justin Siena captain, Luigi Albano Dito. Badman last week beating Casa in a thrilling final match. 8-7, the victory over Casa to win, as that one is lined into center for a base hit. And not only did they win their first league pennant since 2004, fourth league pennant in school history, but this week, 3 separate tournaments for singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. And Petaluma's done pretty well in them so far. They've already won 2. We'll get the results for mixed doubles for you on Monday. But in men's doubles, they only had 1 player come in because most wanted to do doubles instead of singles. So they only had 1 player go to men's singles, Matt Corda, and he won the whole thing. Was not even seeded. He beat the number 1 player from American Canyon twice, including in their championship match at the home turf of the Wolf at the American Canyon Gym, and was crowned the best VVAL boys badminton singles player. Goes to NCS this weekend. Koyant and Kolstremlau won the men's doubles yesterday. They go to NCS next weekend at Piner. And if a mixed doubles team wins today, where there's certainly a shot, they'll also go to NCS. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. Ethan Wesson strikes out, and the ball game is over. The ball game is over. Final score, Petaluma 10, Justin Siena 4. No mercy rule. The Trojans could have done it. It got a little tighter, but this one was a blowout early on. Trojans jumped on the Braves early and just kept the pressure on throughout, while Julian Garahan was dominant. A shutout in 4 innings for him. Petaluma goes to 12-9 overall, 7-3 in VVAL, and the Justin Siena Braves drop their 3rd in a row. They go to 2-7 in league, 8-13 overall. Senior ceremony is coming up next, so stick around right here as the Trojans honor their 6-seeders after they get the W over the Braves. Trojans take on Bella Vista tomorrow. They hope to keep their win streak going against a very good Fair Oaks team, a team from Fair Oaks and the Broncos. And then it continues next week. 2 more games in the VVAL. Petaluma, again, a half game back of Sonoma Valley. 2 more victories to win a league pennant. We're also going to have interviews, so stay right here. Interviews are coming up next. All right. No, you couldn't hear the first interview, but we'll have that up on our YouTube channel and daily morning announcements soon, so you'll be able to hear it. We're getting two seniors to come over after talking to Sam Brown. Now seniors Garrett Gehring and Zach Clark playing their final games here at Abbey Field. Again, they got to tie their shoes before they talk to me. It's really fascinating.
Oh my God, I just totally flashed.
All right, here with Garrett Gehring and Zach Clark, two seniors honored today. What did this afternoon mean to you guys?
Meant a lot because it's my final time ever playing on this field.
And Garrett, you got an opportunity to go out and pitch at a nice 1-2-3 inning too. What did that mean to you?
It would have meant a lot more if the second one was 1-2-3-2, Griffin.
Yeah, that would have been really good. That would have been better.
No, it meant a lot because I know I don't get to pitch a lot, but that was a good inning. So.
This team is interesting because you guys are so young. Half the team's underclassmen. How important has your guys' leadership and experience been over the course of this year, holding this team together?
Captain.
Oh, God. It's really important just showing the younger kids the ropes and showing them how it's done. You know, a lot of these kids, it's their first year, so getting a good win.
Playing baseball?
First year in varsity.
Well, we got all the seniors here now, and you guys now have 4 straight victories. You guys are on a roll after you had 7 straight losses. What's been the key to turning this around?
Not hitting 225.
That's
Yeah.
Actually hitting the ball.
Yeah, actually hitting the ball, that helps a lot. If you don't know much about baseball, hitting it really helps.
Yeah.
Hitting really helps the game.
What has been the approach? Because today I was talking to Sam about this. You guys just kept on getting hits and kept on getting runners on base, and you knew it was frustrating for Justin Siena.
Don't talk to me. I K'd twice.
You know, party out front, as you saw Sam.
Yeah.
That's what we go.
Yeah, that was
a deep one.
was
Party out
pretty.
front's our mentality. Yeah, hit some nukes.
We've hit 3 home runs.
I mean, none of us have hit some
okay.
nukes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Because party out front.
What's the culture and the team bonding on this team, and how does that help the team? You guys seem so tight.
There's like 4 or 5 kids I actually like on this team. No, I'm joking.
No, it's actually true.
It's like we're really close. Too close. We are all too close for comfort on this team, but it's all right.
How does that help, though, as a team dynamic when you go out, and especially when you've had your struggles, that you're all so close as friends?
We're good at picking each other up.
Makes it more fun to yell at people when you like them.
Yeah, not a lot of pouting on this team. You know, somebody doesn't do good. I just sat over in the dugout and threw my glove because I gave up 3 runs.
suck.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but we like to we pick each other up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was 4. It was 4.
Yeah, everyone on this team is great. I mean, all the seniors and all the underclassmen. I mean, that Ochoa kid, he's out there a little, but I mean, I can deal with him. I can deal with him at times.
And lastly, you guys have the near end of your season as seniors. What does this end of the year mean for you guys with still going into VVAL and NCS?
We have a good chance to win VVAL, and we just need to win the rest of our league games.
Thank you so much, Zach. Congratulations, guys, on incredible careers. You meant a lot.
What about me? No, thank you for me.
I said all you guys. All you guys. All you guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys. I did mention that on the broadcast. I mentioned that on the broadcast today, Garrett. The only one at school. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate
Griffin,
it.
I love you.
I've
I love
appreciated
you,
it,
Griffin.
Jack. It's been so fun to cover you. Love you too. Thanks, Mike. All right, love these seniors. As a senior myself, been so fun to watch them. I've played baseball with Jack since I was in 6th grade, so it meant a lot. I'm gonna go grab Coach Salvatella for our final interview here at Abbey Field before we wrap things up. Yeah, tripods. All right, the manager of the Trojans, Coach Salvatella, coming over to join me after Petaluma thrashes Justin Siena 10-4. It was senior day. What do these seniors mean to you, and